Okay, so behind me is the BAi Mirror Vision. From what I understand, it's version 2. Couldn't find a specific SKU for it, but I do know that I bought the second version, not the first. And today I just want to show you how to add hoops to your system in case you upgrade to magnetic ones like I did. We got to add them in there. So there's two ways you can do it, and I'll show you both. All right, version 1. First thing, we're going to go embroidery off. Okay, so make sure embroidery is off. We're going to go into our frames. We can see the default ones right away. We've got the first one's cap, second one's the back of the cap, and then we've got the default frames that came with the machine. So let's add the hoop that I've got in here now, and we're gonna do it from this screen here, and all we're gonna do is go add size. What I have is a rounded one. We're gonna go next. And then when I hit OK, what it's gonna do is have me find the absolute origin of the frame itself. It's gonna start us off all the way to the left. This is what my screen looks like, and what it's asking me to do is put the frame along the left edge, the far left edge, and find the center of it with the red dot there. And that's what it's asking me to do. It's confirming the side of the hoop. So I'm gonna do this one edge at a time, and we're gonna find the center. So we're gonna come back towards me a little bit, and then we're gonna go to the right. And I'm going to push the needle down to where it is not hitting the side. So if you look at these frames closely, what you'll find is like there's an edge here, there's an edge down below, then there's another step even below that. And so there's like 3 steps in these magnetic hoops. If you add these hoops and you configure it to where the needle misses the side of all of the hoop completely, it basically shrinks the embroidery area too much. And so I'm going to use this top lip here on this hoop. And so I'm going to go back in a little bit. I found the center. I'm going to come in just a touch. So I'm basically putting it right on the lip of this edge here. I'm going to click next, and then it's going to have me go to the back. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to find the absolute center. And I'm going to make sure that this doesn't hit the back there. And my needle is right in the center. I'm going to click next on that one. I'm going to go slow when I'm trying to do the minute details here. And I'm going to come forward just a little bit. Watch your fingers. Make sure they don't get pinched. Okay, and then it's going to have me find the one closest to me. For this one, I don't want my finger in there. All right, and then I'm going to hit next. It's going to confirm that, and we have a hoop. So it's kind of odd though. So it's 114 by 108. That's what it got, and one of the ways that we can test it is by adding the frame. It will find the center. Okay, so that should be the center. So one way we can test it is I have a pattern in here that's too big for the frame, but I'm going to come all the way forward, and it should stop before it hits the edge of the frame here. And it does. Okay, so it comes a few millimeters away from the edge of the frame, and then I know that there's a limit error, so now I'm going to go all the way back on the x-axis here. Excuse me, the y-axis. I'm going to go all the way back on the y-axis here. And so if I push this down, it clears all of that. So the corner you got to watch out for is this back right one, because of the way that the needle's arms are set up. It's kind of angled that way, and you can get pretty close to this corner because the needle and the eye of the needle here is is pretty minimal compared to the back right corner. And so that's the corner you got to watch out for. So we're going to go all the way back, which we are, and then we're going to go all the way to the right. And that hits it. So I would probably manipulate this a little bit so that that doesn't hit, and we can go in the back and do that as well. Whether you leave that like that or not, I'll leave that up to you. But as soon as you start manipulating the X and Y coordinates of this, you limit the back end of the embroidery area here because you have to come forward because of the radius here. And it's only in this back right corner. So if we come all the way forward, we're not going to hit, right? So we're not going to hit here. We're not going to hit here. And we're not going to hit here. Now, if you want to manipulate any of that information, you can go into settings, parameters, frame, and then this is the frame that we just added. So it's telling me that 85, -12 is the center of the X and Y of our frame, and that our frame is 114 by 108, and then the radius is 54, which it's not. So it's not 54. It's like the radius of these frames is like 15. They're all 15 millimeters. So I'm going to change that to 15 millimeters as well. The circumference of this is like 1.5 inches, and so the radius is like 0.6 inches, which equals out to be about 15 millimeters. So these radiuses are about 15 millimeters. All right, so T2 is 85 and 12, that's the center. I've known from the past that it's 8710 is the exact center of these frames. So I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna change these. So I'm gonna add a couple millimeters, which will give me like, it'll get me like dead center on that frame. And I know that this is 10, -10, so we're gonna go negative. And this one's going to be 10, negative. So actually, if you ever wondered, I've got like a little cheat sheet here. So of your X and Y axis, I know that my center is 87 and -10. And if you change -10 to like 0, so if you go up, it moves it back away from you. If you go up on the negative, so if you go down, it actually moves it towards you. Same to the right, if you go up in numbers, it'll move it that way. And if you go down, so if you go into 70, it would move it to the left. So that's your X and Y. All right, so this is 114 and 108. So Y, I know it hits in the back corner. So I want to come back towards me a little bit. So I want to go down on this number. So I'm going to go 105, 105 millimeters. This one, I'm going to go down just a touch too. So I'm going to go 112. So then I'm going to see what that does. So save, close, and then close. And then what I'm going to do is hit the frame again. I'm going to hit frame, and I'm going to choose that T2 again, 112, 105. And what it's going to do, as soon as I hit that, it's going to recenter everything. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go all the way back. Make sure that I'm not hitting. I got good clearance there. And then I'm going to go all the way to the right and see if I've got clearance here. I may or may not. So I still am hitting here, but this is the bad corner. This is the hard corner, right? I'm going to come all the way forward. I'm not hitting here. All the way to the left. So I'm all the way left and all the way forward, and I'm not hitting anymore. And all the way back. And I'm not hitting anymore. So at 112, 105, I know that this is not hitting any side except this back corner, but I know that. So whenever I put something in the machine here, I know that I got to be careful of this corner. So that's just something I'm aware of. One of the things I don't like about this is you can't change, you can't relabel this. And so I have to know that 112, 105 is my 130 by 130 frame. So that's the only thing I don't really care for. Even if I could just label it 1 through 5 or 1, if I could just change the labels, that'd be great. Okay, so that was how to do it from here. And I showed you a little bit of the back end. And if I'm going to add another frame to this, we're going to go into settings, parameters, frame, and we're going to use the slot here, T3. So we're going to add the 215 by 230 millimeters. Now, if we just add it right in that way, so if I say 87 is my center, 10 to the negative is my Y center, and what I say, 215 by 230, so 215 by 230, and then I know my radius is 15. Let's say that we do that, right? That's an easy way to do it. Close, frame, 215 by 230. I know that this matches those numbers. We don't have the cap on there. All right, so one of the ways that we can check that this is center is I'm going to push down a little bit, and I'm going to come forward. Ooh, so if you're looking where I am, the needle is to the right, just a hair. So I know, let's go back to my X and Y sheet here. I know, let's put it right here. I know that if I go up in numbers, it's going to move the center to the right. If I go down in numbers, it's going to move it to the left. So I'm going to go back into settings, settings, parameters, frame, and I'm going to go to 85. We're going to go down 2 millimeters. And I'm going to reset the frame. We're going to put it in there, have it reset again. It's going to find the center. Then if I come all the way forward, that 2 millimeters is now dead center of this frame. Okay, and we can do that for the x-axis as well. So let's recenter it. And I'm just going to choose to go to the right. It doesn't really matter if you go right or left, but and -10 is still dead on that one. So now that we know that when we put the frame in, it's centered, what we don't know is the 215 by 230, even though that's what this says this is, will we hit the sides? And we will. So I know that from experience. So if I go all the way back to hit the limits, I'm hitting it all the way in the back here. Now, you can leave it like that if you want. If you have other people that are using your machine and you don't want your needle to hit the side of the frame here, then I would just reduce it by a little bit. Okay, so let's go back into the back end of the frame and just reduce that. And so I'm just guessing here, but this could be 10 to 15 millimeters before it won't hit the side. Parameters, frame, and we know this is T3, and so 215, so let's try 200. Let's go down 15 each by 230, so we're going to go 215. So now we're at 200 by 215. Save, close, reload the frame, 200 by 215, click OK. It's going to find the center of the frame. And we know that that's dead center. And we'll go all the way back. And we're still hitting. Let's go all the way. Let's go all the way to the right. Let's see where we're at. Okay, we're clear on the right. We can actually go back up probably, but let's check the left. Yeah, we're pretty clear over here too. This frame is longer, so 215 by 230, so it's longer on the second. So we got to go settings, parameter, frame. So it's longer. Y is front and back, and so we're going to go down on that. So we're going to go 205, and actually we can go up. We could probably go 205 on that. Doesn't make much sense. Okay. Let's go all the way back. Still hitting. clear on the front. To the right, that looks better. So I still have some clearance, but I'm pretty close to the edge over there, but I'm pretty, you know, my tolerance here is pretty good. Let's go the other way. All right, so I like my x-axis. I still don't like my y. So I'm gonna go back into my settings, parameters, frame, and I'm gonna change the y to 200 now. Still might have to go farther. Save, reload the frame. It's going to recenter itself. There we go. Okay, so now we're clear on the back. Clear on the front. I guarantee you we're not clear on that back right corner though. So let's go back. Nope. So we're hitting that back right corner. But so I know that though. I'm okay with that. I'm gonna leave it like that. So I know that all my frames, that back corner is my trouble spot. So, but it allows me to have full width of my frames here. You know, again, the only thing I don't like is it doesn't really match the size of the frames that are specified on the side. So you gotta guess which frames are which when you're throwing them in there. So, BAi, if you're listening, give us a way to label these frames other than by the millimeter, by the size. Anyway, if that helped at all, if you have any questions, comments, fire them off below, and we'll see you next time.